Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. Every bit of support is greatly appreciated. Now let's get to the video. What up, I'm Xander, and if you're like me, you've been watching the new season of Phineas and Ferb on Disney+. It's really cool that Disney brought this show back for another go-around, as this was one of my personal favorites growing up. I love the setup, the humor, the characters, Doofenshmirtz, and this new season hasn't disappointed. It feels like Phineas and Ferb never left. This was one of my favorite shows growing up, and I'm so glad there's a new season for this next generation to experience. But one thing that's always been so weird to me, though, is why isn't there a lot of Phineas and Ferb video games out there? Yeah, you'd think with the concepts of Phineas and Ferb, it'd be easy to make them into video games, right? Who could that be? I told the motherfuckers I'm not... My Wii! Oh my god, they finally delivered to me! 19 years late, but it doesn't matter. Oh my god, I can't wait to play Wii Sports. I hear it's killer. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this since 2006. I can't believe they finally found me. This isn't a Wii. Phineas and Ferb Quest for Cool Stuff, and Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension on the Wii. Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today. Yep, turns out Phineas and Ferb actually did have presence in the video game world, specifically with 2 games releasing on the Wii. This makes total sense. The general audience of the Wii was mostly children, and most licensed games already appeared on either this or the PS2, and by the time these games would have released, the PS2 would have been way outdated. I've actually never played these games before, so I'm curious to see what they're about, and what makes it so interesting and memorable to apparently a lot of kids who grew up with them. So let's spin summer right. This is Phineas and Ferb on the Wii. We're gonna start with Quest for Stuff. This one came out in 2013. This was the one I saw way more in game stores, so I assume it's the one that sold better. Quest for Cool Stuff, to its core, is a platforming Metroidvania-style game. Yeah, think about that. This and Hollow Knight share a genre. The title screen is banging as it features Bowling for Soup's iconic copyrighted theme song.
Our generation is finding a good way to spend it. Like maybe building a rocket.
We start with a segment featuring Perry the Platypus and Doofenshmirtz, which, by the way, is a perfect way to introduce these characters in 3D. Yeah, you'll probably watch an episode of Phineas and Ferb and immediately think, that would look weird in 3D, right? Well, Perry actually works pretty well in the style. Again, he's one of the more simpler designs, so it was smart to use him first. Though it is weird that Doof on the screen is just a bunch of frames looped. They do it with Monogram later on, and I don't know, it's just weird. Ah, James Bond, it's so nice to finally meet you. I know you probably are wondering, am I having a stroke? Yes, so far not only is the gameplay simple but fun enough, but even the humor is up there with the show's. Doof's little quips here and there feel like things he would actually say in the show. Though a problem I immediately had with the Metroidvania style is very simply, I hate when you give a wall jump ability and then you can grab onto the smallest ledges. It just really irks me. Wall jumps are cool and all, they're practically necessary in Metroidvania, but this is just annoying if anything. Multiple times I died to something stupid and it was totally avoidable if I just didn't grab onto the ledge. But I knew this game was going to work with its humor when they introduced the disguise tool with Perry, where he turns into a normal platypus to sneak past spotlights. This is absolutely a Perry the Platypus thing. Like, what, Doof would look on his camera feed and think that was a normal platypus? How many platypi do you think live in this town?
Go fucking strategy, alright?
Though we get to Doof at the end and... ew. Yeah, so introducing Perry as the first 3D model in this game was smart because Doof looks disgusting. Sadly, with the designs of this show, it's not gonna look good. Hell, I give Perry credit, but he doesn't even look that good sometimes. Doof looks like he knows the retail price of meth. It just doesn't look good. Doof says what I usually say about my channel.
I spend so much time and effort making those videos and no one appreciates them.
And we're introduced to Phineas. Oh my god, I'm sorry, Doof. This is clearly the most cursed model in the game. Once again, the writing and humor just fits with Phineas and Ferb. They could have just pulled a Hero Pants where, hey look, SpongeBob's on the cover, but it doesn't feel like an actual SpongeBob game. Here, everything works with the humor. Even with music from the show always playing in the background. They could have made an original soundtrack, but every song fits in the background. I think only during the temple stuff was there any original music, and even then, that fit. Hey Ferb plays during the lobby stuff where you're in the backyard. The building music that always plays when they're working on their inventions plays during these computer chip segments. The Perry the Platypus theme plays during Perry's levels, obviously. It's really crazy how much strangely detailed effort had to go into this. I gotta commend it. Speaking of the computer chip segments, those are usually to get upgrades to certain things you have, like wheels on your machine, a better drill, all sorts of stuff. These are fine, but sometimes the jump wouldn't register correctly and time is costly.
Awesome job, Ferb.
What did Ferb do? You did that! I did that! I have the Wiimote! I have the off-brand Wiimote! I did that shit! Oh shit. We finally get to what is basically the majority of the game, the temple levels. The classic Metroidvania style, you have two versions of your little machine here. There's a drill, which you need to drill through rocks or you can even drill enemies, and the regular arms that allow you to climb and do a spin attack. Something I immediately loved is the spin attack machine and the drill machine having two different sets of models. The regular arms are modeled like Ferb and the drill is modeled like Phineas. Dude, how did this game go unnoticed? This is insane detail for a shovelware game. Gameplay-wise, it is a bit repetitive. Usually go through mazes, take out these temple guardians when you see them, but something I immediately liked is that, see this chest I missed? Initially, I thought I couldn't get back up to get it, but thankfully the wall jump is available as long as you're in Ferb's mode. Speaking of collectibles, we have our usual suspects. The coin of this game, these sprockets, only these are more useful than a coin as they can be used to purchase paint jobs and even some cool alternates for your upgrades. There's a chest across each level which contains some kind of treasure. I never found out what these were used for, by the way. And across each level there are 3 Ducky Momo plushes, which can be used at the end for some kind of Price is Right kind of deal, where you land on an amount of sprockets and that amount multiplies based on how many Ducky Momo plushes you collected. And they hit in the same move I hit when I hear the Ducky Momo theme.
Ducky Momo. Ducky Momo.
These little bounce pads are cool, but they lead to my biggest issue. The jumping is a little too floaty. I think that's the one issue I kept coming across. I could never time the jumps right at first. It felt way too light. It's the same with the computer chip thing I mentioned earlier. For the most part, that's all there is to the main game. You go through different levels and sometimes come across new enemies and threats, but it's pretty much just like that. As you unlock new stuff, you can even revisit certain levels and collect new things. The wheels were the biggest upgrade, as at least my least favorite part of Donkey Kong Country. When you first meet Isabella, she's for the streets, you unlock the paint jobs, and although it makes the machine look cool and all, it's rather useless otherwise. But a little customization never hurt. Also, to showcase why I suck at Metroidvania, see this wall jump thing I'm doing? I dedicated myself to that damn wall jump. Only to find out that had I drilled downwards, a jump pad would have been right there and allowed me to get up to the platform much faster. That ain't even a game problem, that's a brain problem. Later on, we get new parry levels, and those are always fun. I actually enjoy the parry levels the most. Despite having to see crackhead doof, I actually really enjoy the different elements of stealth and platforming. A lot more than the temple segments, I'll say that. For the most part, that's about it. When we meet Baljeet and Buford, they give us quests that we can revisit certain levels for, and if we have certain upgrades, we can go back and get what they need. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the entirety of Quest for Cool Stuff. I really wasn't expecting much out of this one. Actually, I'll go ahead and say, I think this game deserves way better than what it got. The platforming and Metroidvania style gameplay is at least fun enough for a few hours. It's kind of like a baby's first Metroidvania. And I just can't help it. It knows its source material and does the most with it. It's not a perfect game, but considering I was expecting shovelware at the most, I think this worked fine. But of course we have one more game from the Wii, based on Phineas and Ferb's TV movie Across the Second Dimension. I fucking loved the TV movie when I was younger. See, Phineas and Ferb always had unspoken rules. Every episode has a song, Phineas and Ferb never get busted, Doof and the boys never really meet. But the few times they broke those rules, it still never felt weird. And one of those rules was that Phineas and Ferb never knew about Perry's secret life. Well, this TV movie is literally about Phineas and Ferb finding out Perry the Platypus, their beloved pet, is a secret agent. With alternate timelines, epic yet comedic fights, and alternate version of Doof who wins, it's honestly a really good movie and it shows the creators obviously loved this property. Well, in 2011, we got a tie-in game on the Wii. Opening up the box, there's a special code to unlock a character. On the DS version? Yeah, so in the game we're playing, we unlock Agent T pretty much normally, just by progressing the story. But here, they have a code for the DS version of the game that you can only get by purchasing the Wii version of the game. So let's go over this. You have to not only own a Wii, but a DS. Okay, DSs weren't expensive, I guess I can give that. But think about this. You now not only had to own the Wii version of this game to get the code, but also the DS version to use the code. And the economic crash happened in 2008, so no way did you or your family have that kind of money. All to unlock an exclusive character. I hated when shovelware games did this. Loading up the game, we get a really killer recap of the movie. We get to the first level right outside the boy's house, and it turns out this is one of those beat-em-up games. You go to one area, beat up enemies, and then go to another. We already have one gadget, a baseball launcher, and I gotta be honest, oh my god, look at Phineas. I gotta say, I miss the humor from Quest for Cool Stuff. Like, when Monogram just comes out of nowhere to talk to Phineas, wouldn't have it been just in character for Phineas to say, "Who the heck are you?" or something like that? Speaking of Phineas, God bless Vincent Martella, he sounds annoyed to be Phineas in this for some reason. He just seems bored by it, man. I mean, hey, this is one of his most famous roles, I would be too. Every so many areas we come across a blueprint where we have to find so many parts to build a new invention. Ew, these models still look gross. So far the gameplay is a bit boring. I can't say this isn't unlike a bunch of licensed games that I've already played in the past. It's about as simple as it gets. Go to one area, beat up enemies, complete an objective, rinse and repeat. I hate that because the idea of the TV movie lends itself to a video game pretty well.
Oh, hey there!
Oh my god, he looks better than he did in Quest for Cool Stuff, but yeah, that's a compliment. Weirdly, after each level, we have these little mini games we can play. Throughout each level, you can collect up to 5 of these golden coins, and use them on either this claw machine, which I could never fucking get, and this skee ball machine. You collect tickets and can get admittedly useless, but still pretty cool extras depending on how many tickets you win. I found the skee ball machine way easier than the claw machine. It's decently fun. It reminds me of Game Party a bit. That might be an insult, I don't know. In the second level, we have the anti-gravity ray, which allows us to pick up items and even small enemies. This is a cool little feature, but I really never use it in combat unless it was absolutely necessary. The puzzle stuff's a bit lame in my opinion. I never really went out of my way to explore either. It's a pretty straightforward experience. Even the combat isn't that fun, it's just beating up these jello creatures over and over again. Hey Doof, bye Doof. Honestly, this was the first time in this game I felt like the humor was just right on par with the show. Like, yeah, it's totally realistic that they would just leave Doof there. Oh my god, he doesn't even look like Doofenshmirtz. He looks like the guy who has to introduce himself when you move next door. Hi, I'm Doofenshmirtz and I'm a sex offender! We get our first segment with Perry and that character you can't have in the DS version, as we get our next weapon, the Carbonator. It just sprays carbonation, and honestly, it's my favorite gadget so far. If this is a boss fight though, I'm not looking forward to the rest of this game. Aw, Agent T kinda looks cute in this style. Maybe that's because he isn't a character who's regular in the show.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow. That's what my baby said.
The jetpack segment's pretty fun. You can just shoot enemies as they come up. The more enemies you kill, the more firecrackers you get, which makes it easier if there's too many enemies on the screen. That never happened for me, so I saved up like 8 or 9 firecrackers and just let loose at the end. The jetpack stuff goes on a bit long though, but it's fun. After that we get, another sewer level. Man, this game doesn't look fun. A lot of the same stuff, though we get our first upgrades in. Those are pretty cool. This jello puzzle took me way too long, just because I wanted a gold coin. So our next level takes us to this balloon world. Okay, that's creative, it looks different. It gives us these turrets we can use to help take out these enemies, and I was able to move the turrets wherever I wanted. That's pretty cool. Other than that, again, not much new. Though I did get the claw machine when I was begging for. My life is complete.
Welcome to the land of balloons.
Oh, shit. Why is he here? Oh, the world of balloons. Okay, I got it. I guess there's not a lot of people who would rule this land, but oh my god. He already looked weird in the show, but in 3D, oh my god, he's worse than dude. Never mind. For the most part, that's the game. A simple beat 'em up that really doesn't have much to it. I'd say I prefer Quest for Cool Stuff, at least that one switched it up a bit. I can't say this is bad, it's just not as fun as the other one. But considering it's based on something rather than its own story, it still does the trick, it's just not nearly as good. Well, that was pretty fun, but you know what else is fun, kids at home? Crack! You heard it here first, folks!